Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have here an article that the title will give us so much hope. Well, I personally do not, believe in hope, but because for me hope is like a prayer and the same. But that's me. And this article, I think, tries to show us not that is really a fight between the Republicans and Democrats up there in Washington, D.C., at the Capitol. But I think it's just a, hey, let's show these idiots that there's not only we're all on the same page, but we are some that we do not agree. Sometimes we fight for you, whereas I think they're all on the same team. So let's see what's going on here. This article comes from Ukrainska Pravda, and it says that about 20 Republican senators called on Biden to end aid to Ukraine. Well, when I read this headline, I was like, wow, man, now where is the catch? Because this sounds normal, okay? About 20 Republican senators. So that's out of what, 48 or something? 49, I think that's how many Republican senators are. Said, wow, well, that's 20, that's good, man. Called on Biden to end aid to Ukraine. Wow, I said, well, they're going to end aid. I said, well, where are those little strings, little weasels here? Well, they're in the first paragraph. A group of Republican senators prepared a joint letter to U.S. President Joe Biden in which they call for an end to aid to Ukraine in current format. That changed the whole thing. Maybe not the whole thing, but it changed the power of this headline. To end aid. I said, wow, zero. When you end something, it's zero. But no. They're not to end aid. To change aid. To change it. It's not to end it in the current format and they're going to change it into something else. I said, okay, no wonder here. Among the senators who signed a letter are the notorious Trumpist and supporter of the QAnon conspiracy theory. That's very nice, very nice. Marjorie Taylor Greene, as well as Rand Paul. Now, who's this guy now? How would you label him? As an idiot? What? What label are you going to attach to this guy? So the reader says, oh, he's a nuts, right? Like the other one too. Who slowed down the allocation of aid to Ukraine. So this is the guy. So he's a bad dude. And it's, you see, his underlined is whatever. It's rather bolded to do whatever it is. And I'm quoting, as the war enters its second year, there is no end in sight and no clear strategy to bring this war to close. A proxy war with Russia in Ukraine is not in the interests of the United States and risks an escalation that could spiral out of control. End quote. The authors of the letter write. I think that's pretty logical and clear and I would say realistic. In their opinion, the current strategy of the Biden administration, in parentheses, continued aid and sanctions, and parentheses, leads to, and I'm quoting, escalation and even greater violence, end quote, and increases the threat of direct confrontation with Russia. Again, I think that is kind of like realistic assessment of reality, of situation. Among other things, they criticized the decision to transfer HIMARS to Ukraine because it was perceived as a serious provocation, and they criticized the potential decision to provide Ukraine with new types of longer-range weapons. And I'm quoting, we will adamantly oppose, I don't even know how to pronounce that, from adamantly, I don't know. You know that word, I don't know it. I know what it means, but I don't know how I can pronounce it. I'm not going to break my tongue for that. Oppose all further aid packages unless they are linked to a clear diplomatic strategy designed to bring this war to a rapid conclusion, end quote, the senator said. They also believe that Moscow's patience in, and I'm quoting, waging a puppet war with NATO, and I'm quoting, could run out at any moment, and Putin's decision to attack Ukraine should be a clear proof that he is ready to use force. Again, I think that's logical so far. The signatories also argued that the United States spends too much money in the interest of Ukraine, whose government is, and I'm quoting, historically mired in corruption, end quote, when the United States has enough of its own internal problems. In addition, the senators argue such large-scale aid harms the combat readiness of the American army. They also believe that Washington's decision to support Ukraine contributes to the rapprochement of Russia and China, which is an additional threat. And I'm quoting, "There are appropriate ways in which the United States can support the Ukrainian people, but unlimited arms supply in support of an endless war is not one of them. Our national interests and those of the Ukrainian people are best served by incentivizing the negotiations that are urgently needed to bring this conflict to a resolution. We strongly urge you to advocate for a negotiation peace between the two sides," end quote. The signatories conclude. Background. A group of senators from the Democratic and Republican parties of the US is asking the Pentagon for information on what is needed to provide Ukraine with F-16 fighter jets. So this is the reality, not the letter over there. This is the reality over there. Well, let me tell you, and probably you can guess what Biden, if he is not going to be reading that, guarantee you that. But in case that we just imagine it, what he would do with that. He would take it, let's say he reads it, puts it over there, wipes his ass with it, and toss it wherever he tosses it. That's what he does. But that's for us. That's for the voters. And it's beneficial, it's a positive thing. Yeah, I think it's a positive thing, because you see that other people might have a different take on what's good for the United States of America and what might not be as good. And that's always, you can come with different options, or you can say, well, I think this will serve us better. Let's talk about this one. And communication and dialogue is the best way to solve problems, not with war. But if you don't want to talk with the other side might be, I don't know, doing something that you don't like, which is war in this case. So the reality is that those guys that signed to the Pentagon, those are the sellouts. That's for 100% sellouts. And the other guys, I don't know if they just did it for, as I said, for the voters to see it. Oh my God, look at that. Yeah, they're fighting for us. For the voters, they have a different take on the war in Ukraine, the war between NATO and Russia, the reasons why we are over there, the national interest, the security concerns of Russia, of Ukraine, of NATO, United States, and discuss them. But they avoided that. And when I say about they, you know who's they, because you can look until it was January 2022. Russia still was waiting to discuss with NATO about its security concerns and its security guarantees, regarding NATO. And what did NATO do? We're not going to talk to you. There's nothing to talk with you. Who are you? We don't care. Do something. All right? Now you draw your conclusions and see what's what and who's who. But if, let's say, United States can have all kind of national security, problems, then they will act. No problem. But nobody else can protect its, national security, or not only national security, but, have some security concerns, national security concerns. You can't have it. Only one country can have, or one that particular country designates as having them, like Ukraine. Ukraine can have, national security concerns and, all this, but Russia cannot. And I know another country that the United States usually points out that it can, but others cannot. Well, I'm sorry, I can't subscribe to this kind of justice, if you know what I mean. That's at least there are some voices, and they are at least publicized. I would like to have seen these voices, let's say, on the 25th of or 26th of February 2022, or let's say in March or June 2022. We see now, after a war and so on, of attempts and money, and people killed and dispersed and all that. Now, well, I'm not going to use the Bible thing, blood is on your hand, that Zelensky keeps on wherever he wants money from. His blood is on your hand. If you don't give me money and weapons, all those guys that I'm gonna grab you to see the buka right here, buka. It's because see, if you don't give me, you might be responsible. So give me. And everybody's like, ah. But I'm saying, Zelensky, shut up. Go back to your fucking clown world. Leave me the alone. I can't because those guys are right there and they support me. So you, ha ha ha. Anyway, I make it like this, but I'm very, very upset with the fact that the Ukrainian nation is eradicated by their cousins for okay, I can't say it. I have to engage in self-censorship because we have too much freedom. So some people have to make sure that we don't use that much freedom because we can get drunk of so much freedom. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.